Hello and welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast. I'm Michael Sheridan. Happy President's Day. So what is this show about? As always, it's about dream interpretation, your dreams, and how your dreams in the night tell you how true you're being to your life purpose. Dreams almost always will focus on something negative that you need to fix. That's just what they do. It's very rare that we do see a dream saying, look, you think you're here, but you're actually higher than where you think you are. We kind of see that in the first dream that I'm going to have a look at today. And this dream is from Annie. And that's the name I'm going to use because she said I could use any name I want. So I'm using Annie. And she calls it Floating Up and Channeling with Guides. Now, before I read it, I'm going to read a comment that she sent in. She says, Kelly and I, Kelly shows up in the dream, used to be good friends, but we don't really talk anymore as we have little in common. She's not spiritual, but is quite religious. I'm trying to think of why she might be in this dream, but I'm not sure. Maybe because I know she doesn't see me as a channel, let alone as a person that can do any of my spiritual gifts. So there might be something there about me not believing in myself and my gifts, which is an issue for me. Okay, so that's huge. First of all, you say she's religious but not spiritual. I don't think a religious person would be happy to hear that. But I know this type of person you're talking about. I don't really come across them, but I know a lot of people do. If they have, they grew up in a religious environment. I did. But if they grew up in a religious environment and they're really being pulled down because their friends and family or whoever don't believe that what they're doing is the right thing for them to do, and quite often will say really harsh things to them like you're channeling Satan or Lucifer, or you don't know who you're connecting to. Now, how would they know this? How would somebody that comes up to you and says this know this? I always find it interesting too, because I hear this from many people who write to the show. They say that their friend channels or speaks to God and says that they don't believe that I speak to God. Well, that's crazy. How could you be a channel and then decide that you're the only channel who's right? Can you tell who you're talking to? Absolutely, you can. But it is a bit of a put down. Obviously, there are religious people that use it in a good way. So you know Kelly, and it's obviously an interaction between you and Kelly. What you could do is you could say, hey, Kelly, I figured out how I know that I'm connected to the light, but I have to whisper it to you. So lean in close. And then when she leans in close, poke her in the eye. And then she won't cause you that pain anymore because she won't accuse you. Of course, I'm only joking, and I'm only saying this to Annie. This is not for anybody else because I know who Annie is, and I know she wouldn't do that. So no lawsuits, please. No poking people in the eye because they disagree with you. But it really is funny that somebody would do that to you. But I'm always going to switch it on its head and say, why do you hang around somebody who pulls you down, especially when you know what you're doing is good? You also ask, is it possible, based on where Kelly is in the dream, that she is a guide? And you say, clearly Vince Neil, who is the lead singer of Motley Crue and is also in the dream, is one in the dream. Is he one in real life? Well, we can tell. So let's have a look at the dream. I was in a large warehouse with unbelievably high ceilings. My friend Kelly was there in the corner of the warehouse. She was up higher by a platform. Now, you asked, is she a guide? I channeled and I'm told she isn't. But a lot of people who seem very negative in our lives can be guides. So, that's not an indicator just because she's negative. And so it's interesting that she is up higher in the dream, because normally if people are placed higher, if they have a title, if they speak with authority, etc., which she doesn't do in the dream, so she doesn't have the hallmarks other than that she's up higher. And so I would take the platform to mean the religious platform she stands on. She believes it puts her up higher, allows her to judge you, which of course, realize Jesus never judged. He was all about love, turning the other cheek, not criticizing, not putting people down, not stoning people to death, and so on and so on and so on. Very against war, which is kind of funny. Look at the people that are criticizing you and see how close they are to who they consider to be their leader. Anyway, you say she was up by a platform. I was up there as well. She may have been getting something to eat. We were chatting for a bit, and then I raised my vibration and went up even higher. So I was super high with nothing underneath me. Now, this nothing underneath me is going to come back and bite you later on in the dream. But the way you say it, it even sounds like, I've nothing to stand on. So it's kind of like a doubting yourself thing already. I've nothing underneath me. You say, I was floating. I raised someone else up as well. Kelly made a comment about sovereignty. She said, I know the helpers help other people, but what about someone's sovereignty? She was questioning how I was able to lift that person up like I did. So you are a helper, and we see that later on in the dream too. The fact that you're floating up and raising it means that you yourself are a guide because you're doing this on your own and you're flying, or you've raised your vibration. You're able to raise your vibration and achieve that level. Well, I channeled that anyway and was told you're a guide, so that's fine. It doesn't mean that you're a guide just because you can float up in a dream, but in your case you are. You say, the sovereignty. What about the sovereignty? So sovereignty means that nobody should be able to interfere with me. And so is a helper interfering? And this brings up a really good point. And the answer is yes, helpers interfere. Humans on the earth plane who work with others and do various other, use their gifts with them, are definitely interfering, but interfering constructively. And that's the only way you ever want to do it. You don't, if somebody doesn't want your help, don't help them, all that sort of thing. So don't feel like you're out on a crusade to help other people that don't want to be helped. You're here by contract to help people that you've agreed to help. And we definitely can interfere on the physical plane. Angels, on the other part, do not interfere. They assist us. So they will not, no matter what you do, if you're in a burning car and praying for help, the angels will give you help via the ideas of something to do, or maybe send someone else to help you, etc., etc. But they won't interfere. It's just not, it's part of the protocols that they always will follow. And so that's why humans are needed, for instance, with spiritual healing. You would think, okay, if an angel is going to work through me to do the spiritual healing, why don't they just do it on their own? Well, the answer is, again, they don't interfere, but they assist. So if I'm working with somebody doing hands-on healing, they can amplify my energy and they can help me with what I'm trying to do. And it's okay for me to interfere. And again, I'm using that word like as if it's negative, but it's not. I mean, if you're healing somebody, how is that negative? But sovereignty is absolutely king. But most of us have given away our sovereignty, and that's why we're here in the first place. And so a lot of the work we do while we're here is about reclaiming that sovereignty. And so I do a lot of work with people, helping them heal childhood trauma. And that trauma reflects how they've given away their power or their masculine or feminine energy or whatever happens to be. And we work on reclaiming that, pushing issues back to mom and dad and taking your own energy back to make you more sovereign. And so even though the idea of sovereignty is absolutely true and sacrosanct, very few people can claim to be sovereign. And I know this to be true. If you can really claim to be sovereign, you can never have any problems with entities or attacks or anything like that, because nothing can get near you. And so it's our fears and it's other things in our lives or within us that leave the door open for us to not be sovereign and so on. Anyway, I feel like I'm digressing. I hope I'm not. I hope this makes sense and is interesting. You say, then a singer came out and we were dancing. That's good. When he came over, I put my arms out to dance in a traditional or formal manner. And in brackets, you say, apparently it's called the closed position. I didn't know that. Clearly, I need to be more open is what you said. And that's true. That's true for most people. And this surprised him a bit. And then another singer came out. It was Vince Neil, lead singer of Motley Crue. He liked me as more than a friend. Okay, so that's good in a dream. As more than a friend. So the attraction of Vince Neil to you is, you're everything in the dream. So if you see attraction, you to him or him to you, it doesn't matter. Then it's saying that this is about you making a connection with your guides. And the more attracted you are and the further you go, like if you embrace and kiss and whatever, or go even further, it's about really getting intimately in contact with your guides and so on. It's all very positive. You said he was really, really tall. Both singers were really tall. They weren't floating. They were just really tall. But I had floated up so high that I was at the same level as them. So that's you floating up, meeting your guides, like I said. He realized I was floating, but he didn't believe it at first. So, okay, so here's the doubt. And so the guide, Vince Neil, is a guide in the dream. And you asked, is he in reality? When I channel, I'm told he is. But so he didn't believe it at first. So he put his hands underneath my shoes and felt that there was nothing underneath me, and he got a little freaked out and then wanted nothing to do with me. And of course, that's your issue. That's about you letting yourself be pulled down because of your own doubts or your own feeling that I need to be able to show somebody a platform, like the way your friend Kelly can show the Bible or her faith or whatever it is she wants to throw at you and say, this is why I can say what I'm saying. And yet what you're saying, at least based on this dream, you've nothing to stand on, which is not true. It's just your feeling about that. And so that he's showing you that you're letting yourself be pulled down by that. So it's kind of like if you're talking to somebody and you're doing really well, you are in the back of your mind questioning, do they doubt me because I don't have credentials after my name, or I don't have whatever. And so you need to fix that. They can't fix that for you. Then you say, he called a female flight attendant over who he used to like. Now that he was freaked out and didn't like me anymore, he went back to liking the flight attendant. He was talking to her. I was there as well. One of us asked where she was flying to next. She said Chicago. And I said, that's where I'm from. So, okay, you're everything in the dream. So you are also the flight attendant. So this is your dilemma. You're thinking, okay, this is my level, but maybe people won't like me at this level and they will like me better at a lower level, something where I've been before. And so you have that question mark in your own mind and you need to fix it. You need to take it out of your own mind. So what does a flight attendant do? Because a flight attendant is also a guide in the dream, because they have a title. So you're also the flight attendant because whatever abilities they have and everything else in a dream is you. Whatever ability a guide has, you have. What does a flight attendant do? They serve food and drink. They help people stay calm. They basically assist people on a plane to get to where they need to go. So it says you have an ability to work with groups. You're not the pilot, although we know that you could do that job metaphorically because of the fact that you are a guide. So you are a spiritual leader and you can work with groups and you could take them, a group of people from where they are to where they need to be. But the flight attendant would be more about helping heal people because of the serving food and drink. So it's kind of like you're saying to yourself, people will accept me as a healer, but I'm not sure they will accept me as a channel or whatever it is. I don't know what's in your mind. So you need to look at that and fix that yourself. Remove your own doubts. Doubts, of course, are a masculine energy imbalance. So start believing in yourself and realize that you're the only one that needs to. It doesn't matter what other people think about you or about your credentials or anything else like that. It really only matters how you are and how you believe in yourself. I was going to say more about that, but I didn't write it down and it's gone. So that's it, Annie. I hope that made sense. And I did enjoy the dream. And it was sad to see you being knocked down in it. Like we know you're being knocked down because Kelly, that's what she does. That's her role in life for you. But then we see the guide doing it. Of course, the singer is about channeling. So yeah, so it is channeling. It's a choice between channeling and hands-on healing. Maybe not just hands-on healing, but because of the flying involved, it could be absent healing too. So you feel more comfortable doing that for people than you do channeling. And in time, you're going to overcome that. It won't be an issue. Okay, so I did say at the start, dreams will usually just show our issues, but this one is showing you that you are higher than you think, which is really good. What a great problem to have. Thank you for watching this clip from the Dream Interpretation Podcast. If you want to hear the whole show, there's a link directly under this video. Please like and share with your friends, all of your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast at thedreaminterpretationpodcast.com. That's also where you can submit your dream to the show and have yours featured. You can also download my free dictionary that has thousands of symbols that will help you understand the meaning of your dreams. Thanks for listening.